Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be going over some tips for Warzone's new nighttime game mode. It turned out to not be as different from normal Warzone as I thought it would be, but there are still some things that you can do that you probably wouldn't think of normally that can give you an advantage in this game mode. If you guys do like this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this game mode, if you like it or not. So for starters, I just want to explain how this mode has worked. First, it came out for trios, and they took normal trios out of rotation. And then they put normal trios back, and now nighttime solos are here as of the time I'm recording this video. And then I'm assuming at some point they'll add normal solos back, and then maybe we'll get nighttime duos or nighttime squads, and then that cycle will just repeat. So they're going to have it for every game mode at a different point. So whether or not you play solos, trios, whatever, this game mode is probably going to replace the game mode that you like to play at some point. So these can be helpful to you, even if you aren't actively playing the night mode at this time. The first thing I want to talk about is the Rose operator. This operator is often talked about as being like potentially pay to win. Now this isn't something that you can just purchase. It's actually from last season's battle pass. But there is some validity to that even in the normal game modes. There are some situations where this skin is very helpful in dark areas. For whatever reason, this skin just blends in really well. I think it's a combination of this skin being just blacked out pretty much entirely, and pretty much having no detail on it whatsoever. Those two things combined to make this skin sometimes hard to pick out in some dark areas. And this nighttime mode adds even more dark areas, and then we're going to talk about some things later that will help you hide even more. So the Rose skin is definitely what you want to be running if you're playing the nighttime game mode, and a lot of players are already aware of this. I feel like I see this skin far more frequently than any other skin at this point. It's between this and then like the Jigsaw skin. Those are the two most prevalent skins I see in game. A lot of people are aware of how like effective this Rose skin is in the nighttime game modes, but even just in the normal modes, this skin will help you out sometimes. So I would definitely recommend using Rose for this game mode. The next thing I want to talk about is some thermal sights that I like to use on my guns. For my assault rifles, I like to use the Solo Zero NVG Enhanced. In this gameplay, I'm going to be using a CR56 AMAX with that scope. I actually don't like that too much. I prefer to run it on like a Kilo or a Growl, maybe even an M13, a lower recoil assault rifle. I don't really like the high recoil assault rifles with the thermal. I can control the CR56's recoil quite well with the VLK, and while I didn't end up getting a good game with it here, I feel like I was way less consistent with my AMAX with this sight than I was the VLK. So normally, I wouldn't be running thermal on the AMAX. I was just trying it out this game, and I happened to get a good game. I'd recommend using a Kilo or an M13 or a Growl with one of these thermal sights. These sights make it really easy to see opposing players. I don't really like the thermals. I really wouldn't ever use them, but nighttime, I think it's definitely worth trying them out and seeing if you like them. They're actually really effective, and you're going to get a lot of easy kills on players who might think they're hiding or might think that they're like unseen because it's nighttime. It's really funny how some of the people play in this game mode. Just because it's nighttime, a lot of people will take routes that they maybe wouldn't in the past, or like really expose themselves because they think they have the cover of the night. And if you have one of these thermal scopes, they're just a sitting duck. They're an easy kill. And then they're going to have probably a harder time returning fire on you if they don't have one of these sights themselves. And as far as snipers go, I typically like to use the SPR 208 or the Kar 98, the marksman rifles. I like them a lot more, but they don't have any high magnification thermal scopes. So for this game mode, I've been using the HDR with the thermal sniper scope because this has higher magnification than what the marksman rifles have. So if you see some HDR gameplay in this video, I'm using the thermal sniper scope because of the fact that the other ones, for whatever reason, don't have a high magnification thermal. And the next thing we want to talk about is Coldblooded. Because the thermal sights are really effective and really prevalent in this mode, you want to run Coldblooded to get you off of them. You don't necessarily need it on your first class. If you do what I do and you have an overkill class that you buy first, and then you get Ghost on your second, you maybe don't need it on your first class, because oftentimes I'm going to get that before other people even get their other loadout. You know what I mean? A lot of people wait to get like the free one, and they never even buy one beforehand. So if you're someone who gets a loadout really fast, you could probably get away with not having Coldblooded on your first one, but you definitely want it on your Ghost class. 150% in this game mode, you're going to want to use Coldblooded. Not only does it keep you off the thermals, so you're not like being affected by them, it's actually really hard to see non or it's really hard to see people who have cold-blooded on the thermal scope. It's not like they just don't light up. It's just blacked out. And when you're using your rose skin as well, that's what I was going to say. We're going to come back to it. When you're using your rose skin and cold-blooded, it's very difficult for players to pick you out unless they already know you're there. I even had trouble with this, and sometimes I would see people and then try to like zoom in and find them with my thermal, and it would be a real pain. So if you're playing this game mode, you definitely want to run cold-blooded because you're going to be like hard countering all of those people using thermal sights. Not only is it not going to work on you, it's going to be like really hard for them to even see you at all unless you're moving a lot or unless you're shooting at them. So rose skin and cold-blooded, it's really hard for other players to pick you out. Obviously, you're going to want to have Ghost as always in Warzone. Stay off that minimap, and that's like one of the like keys to success in this game mode is just being unseen and not like letting enemy players notice you, because you have your rose skin, it's hard for them to see you. You have your cold-blooded, it's hard for them to see you. And a decent amount of people use cold-blooded in this game mode, but it's certainly not as prevalent as it should be. There's still a lot of people that show up on thermals and they're just like easy sitting targets, and it's really easy for you to pick them off. Another thing I want to talk about with the thermals is that if you're aiming through glass for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. So if you ever find yourself camping upstairs in a building, make sure you break your upstairs windows so you can use your thermal sight and shoot through and actually see targets. Or if you know someone's playing a window with a sniper, you probably want to shoot out the windows yourself, because if you have your thermal, not only do they not light up through it, you can't see through it at all for whatever reason. Glass really hard counters the thermals. So take advantage of that. Make sure you're breaking your glass, or if you're not even using a thermal at all, you could use this to your advantage to maybe counteract the thermal users. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of this game mode down in the comments below. I like it more than I thought I would, but it's still not something I want to play. I would just prefer to play the normal game mode. I like the zombie mode. I think the zombie mode is pretty fun and pretty hectic, but this just normal nighttime BR, not a fan of it personally. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you've been using any of these things already, like thermal scopes, cold-blooded, or the rose operator, let me know all that in the comments below. And I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for watching.